Good morning, good afternoon, good evening. It's your boy Gary Scott, aka the Solid Pip Assassin. And today we're back with another weekly trade breakdown from this past week. All right, we did only take one trade this week. We went 1-0. All right, we caught 100 pips with this particular trade. All right, and now I'm going to just simply break it down as to why I called this trade for a buy. What I want you guys to understand, like every week is not going to be a week to where you catch, two or more, three or more, four or more trades, right? Some of those weeks you are going to just have to double down on one pair and maximize that trade. All right. So with that being said, guys, I'm just going to simply just walk you through why I took GBPAUD, right, and how we caught 100 pips on this trade. All right. So without further ado, let's get started. Okay. So here, all right, we have an area where price, right, respected this level in the market. All right, not only once, but it respected it twice. It respected it 3 times, 4 times. All right. So when I seen it respect this level a multitude of times, right? Um, I take that into consideration. All right. So this is just simply off the daily time frame. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to go down to the 4 hour time frame. So now when we get here on the 4 hour time frame, right, we have to take into account what that the market has respected this level 3 or more times. All right. So when it gets to this area again, we have to pay very close attention. All right. So when it got here, right, when it got to this particular level in the market, excuse me, right, when it got to this particular level in the market, one thing that I'm noticing is that one is making lower highs, right, lower high, lower high, lower high, lower high, right. So when it gets here, I notice how price is rejecting off of this area, right. And because it's rejecting off of this area, we have to take into consideration that it's also even making what? Higher lows, higher lows. All right. So when price does come and break this trend line that we have right here, right? That's what we're looking for. We're looking for price to break, right? We took our entry here. Price did retest back to the trend line, which is it textbook is supposed to do, right? Naturally, it's supposed to come back and retest the trend line before pushing back up to the other side, right? And that's exactly what it did, right? News allowed price to come back to test the trend line, right? And then go up higher, right? Because we did have news just this past week. All right. So we entered here, we dealt with a little bit of drawdown, price took off and hit 100 pips, right? So now this is what you want to pay a close attention to, right? When price breaks these trend lines, right? Just like I said, when it breaks the trend line, you want to see price retest the trend line. And in this case, it retested the trend line. It came back to touch the trend line. And what did price do? Price took off, all right, for 100 pips. Right now, if I go down to the hour time frame, all right, I'm also noticing that one, again, price is making higher lows, right? Because price never came back to break this low. Never came back to break this low. All right. So when price did break structure here, right? It broke structure here, right? It ended up breaking structure here, right? So when price did a retest back to this level, it came back to an order block, right? Which is the last down candle before price looks to change directions, right? Price broke structure at this particular point, changing direction. Price then retest back to this level and then broke structure again here. All right. So when price did retest back to this level once more, right, it already respected this level once, twice, and then also respected it a third time. Right. So then when price did come and break structure here, we have to take into consideration that price never went back below this point. All right. So price broke structure here, right? Price then retest back to the structure level and then went off and broke the structure of the trend line. All right. So when it did come out and break this high, right? When it came out to break that high, right? It retested back to this level, right? Which is even in area, right? It's also a fair value gap, but also it plays into a factor of an order block that's near this trend line, right? Let me draw that out for you, right? Price came back to this order block. But not only did it come back to that order block, right? It also came back to what? The fair value gap here, right? This fair value gap runs within the trend line, all right? It runs within the trend line. So boom. You have price coming to respect this order block once, and I mean, not the order block, the fair value gap once. It also came back to test the fair value gap twice, right? And then what did it do? It took off, hit 100 pips. All right. So that's pretty much how I looked at this particular trade. If you guys have any questions or concerns, please feel free to contact me. All right. I'm always open to help anybody. You know, get to a good point of trading with their skill set, right? You know, it's going to take some time, guys. It's going to take some time, guys. You know, just put in the work, put in the chart time, and everything will then start to make sense to you guys. All right. So just, you know, be patient, practice on putting everything together, right? Because if you start putting everything together, it's start going to becoming a lot more simple. It's not going to become easy. It's going to be a little bit more simple. All right. So, like I said, guys, if you like this video, like, comment, share. Also, if you do have any questions, contact me at my Instagram, which is Gary Scott Official. My email is pipassin20@gmail.com, which is pipassassin20@gmail.com. Guys, without further ado, this is the end of this video, and I'll see you guys on the next one. Peace.